Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
All right, welcome everybody. Thanks for attending. Let's see, we're going to start off a couple of things. Praise for the Ghana operations. Thanks to Salam for his persistent work on our operational setup there in Ghana, working on the bank account. We got the letter secured. The letter is being sent to the bank, and we will be able to open the bank account in the next couple of weeks this
I
week.
don't know. Yeah, Salam, maybe you can give a final status on that. When do you think that that'll be open?
Yes. So Monday, tomorrow, the bank will give me the forms that I would
Oh,
email to you to
okay.
complete. And upon completion of those forms, the bank account will be open.
Okay, great. So we
Yeah.
should get the forms soon.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Perfect. So thanks for working on that. It's been a great help. We're excited for that opportunity because then that'll lead to the grants and stuff as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole goal of to get us to the grants. Yeah.
Perfect. And more praise. Thanks to Benny for designing a great flyer for Project 75 to announce health professionals to join and to be involved in that. So that looked great.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, for sure. And how is that going, Benny? Can you give us an update on what kind of responses you've gotten or people that have joined the list, the WhatsApp list?
Yes. So with the WhatsApp list, I think we still have people joining on daily basis.
Okay.
Yes, and with response to what I posted, I've seen people reacting to it. So we've directed that beginning of tomorrow's week,
Hmm.
tomorrow Monday, people can come to the office. Though some few minutes ago, I got a message directly from someone who said he is a medical laboratory scientist from Accra and he wanted to come.
Uh-huh.
So I said, "Oh, that was fine. Just that uh, it's a voluntary work and there might not be any financial commitments or paying of his transport." And I
Yeah.
think yes, he said, "Oh, okay. Then once we have another one in Accra, so he could join." Yeah, so instead no, for now we the operation is currently in the north.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So
That's
I see
great.
that when people want to join, but um they are looking at ways to come. So I said that was why we for now we are calling on volunteers around Tamale who
Yeah.
could.
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. It's great that we had that response and that people are eager to come on board and if they don't come on board kind of like you said today or in Tamale, then maybe in the future there'll be an opportunity for them or at least they'll be following us and helping maybe spread the word. So that's great.
Yes, yes. I appreciated him actually for showing interest
Hmm.
um in supporting our activities.
Yeah. Now, one thing I had was in the WhatsApp group, he can reply to the post. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't know that was possible, though someone cannot send a message, but when an admin sends a message, it could be replied to.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yes.
interesting because I didn't know it either. I saw the reply in there and I was like, oh, okay, maybe Benny's got it opened up a different way or maybe something. But I think it's fine as long as you can manage it. And I don't think we'll see as much spam, but it'll be something to monitor.
Yes, sure.
Great.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so let's get into some other good things. Ghana bank account, we already discussed that, and Salam updated us on the submission, so that's
Mhm.
awesome. Let's see, Ghana Project 75. You guys want to give us an update, Ben and Salam, for 75?
Yeah, maybe Salam from the organizational of the event and Benny from the media side of the house.
Yeah. Everything is on track as far as organization is concerned. We have arranged all test kits We've received 500 test kits for HIV/AIDS so far,
Okay.
and we are hoping that we'll be able to hit the 1,000 test kits mark for HIV/AIDS.
Okay.
I
And
would,
and is 1,000 the number that you've chosen for the malaria and the typhoid as well? Is that the number that we're targeting?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. So far everything is on track. We want to make another on the media side, the traditional media side. We want to make another media post towards end of the week,
Okay.
inviting people to attend the program.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so with the test kits, you're planning on entering those sales invoices?
Yes.
Okay. And is what I will do is if you need a new supplier created, because remember the supplier, I think for permissions reasons or whatever, I need to create. So if you need another supplier like the Ghana AIDS Commission or some other nonprofit or whatever, just let me know, and then it'll be in the drop down for you to choose as a supplier, and then you can put that in there as a sales invoice or in-kind donation.
Okay.
Great.
And were the 500 from the Ghana AIDS Commission, or was that another organization that donated them?
Yes, that's another organization. That's not from the Ghana AIDS Commission.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
And so we're still expecting the other 500 to come from them?
Yes, we are expecting. We are waiting for their report, the response. I've given them the flyer for the event, and we are waiting for their response, their feedback.
Okay,
Perfect. Awesome.
great.
Yeah, because then another action item I had was that Ben will make a thank you post for the Ghana AIDS Commission once we get the donation from them.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, and also the other foundation, I can't remember the name of it. I apologize. Salam, you know the name of the organization that's also maybe contributing uh, to the HIV testing. What was the name of that organization?
Final. So what we intend to do is to wait till maybe a week to the event, or some few days when we know that received we have received maybe various forms of support from either organizations or individuals. Then we can put it all together and send some thank you letters to all of them.
Yeah, great. And I think that Benny is what you can do is you can group all of those organizations that help and that are going to participate at the event into one maybe social media post and with a thank you saying that it's important that we get these in-kind donations so that we can continue to do more, etc. Does that sound like a plan for you and the schedule with the social media?
Yes, yes. I think that's a good plan. Having all just come out at once. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that it'll be beneficial, Benny, to do that before the event. So if we confirm the donations are coming from organizations and we put that all into one post, if we do that and tag them in their social media, then maybe they will post it as well, which could increase our reach for the event overall. So I think it'll be good to do a wrap up thank you, maybe, or we'll just provide the video and their links then, but maybe a pre-event thank you for who's going to be there, and tagging them would be beneficial because they could help us spread the word.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Let's see. So that, and then for another action item was Salam. Please confirm the final budget for Project 75 is logged and all vendor quotes are finalized. So that's what you were just talking about.
Yeah,
Purchase invoices.
yeah, just that the sales invoices are going to be entered. Will you get to that? When will you get to those sales invoices, Salam?
So, like I said, I still think that we are yet to. I can enter them as they come, but we are still calling on people and we are sending out letters.
Okay.
So I would want to confirm a total of whatever we are receiving before I can input that. So, for instance, I should know we are receiving maybe 700 test kits for malaria, 700 test kits for HIV, 200 for that before I can enter them.
Okay, and just so you know, Salam, that each sales invoice will go under a separate organization. So if someone gives 700 malaria kits, then we'll need to put that organization in and the sales invoice for that. If a different organization gives different test kits or something else, then that'll have to be under its own sales invoice. So
Okay.
you won't be able to group them all. So it might be easiest to just record them as they come, because we'll need to build that out uh, as they. We'll have to enter them all individually, essentially. So I don't know if you're talking about 1, 2, 3 organizations, or if you're talking about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 type, account for that are going to be making donations to the event. How do you see that? Is it going to be at most probably? I'm thinking like 3 to 4.
Yeah. For now, yeah, maybe 2 to 3
Okay.
or more or less. We can't actually put a figure because we've not gotten. I mean, there are even times people will promise to show up or promise to support or donate, and as the days close by, they never show up
Uh-huh.
or give their support. So
Okay, so then let's do this.
yeah, so I think
Let's just put all of the sales invoices on hold until after the event.
yeah, so I
And
think that would be a better way to go.
yeah, and then we'll just enter them as they came and put them in that way, because we don't want to enter them only to have it not be accurate data. So we'll wait until after the event, and then go ahead and do that then, if that's okay.
Yeah, and that also brings me to the thank you post Ben is supposed to make. I think all of that can be done after the event. Before the event, any organization that actually accepts to participate or support us should rather be the organization to post about us and the events, because you end up thanking people for accepting to attend your program, and at the end of the day, they don't attend. At the end
Uh-huh.
of the day, they might attend but go maybe feel some way and just go out to speak ill about your organization.
Yeah.
So it's rather better to assess after the event, then you can appreciate whoever you want to appreciate than to do it before the event, because
Okay.
things can always change.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
that's a good point as well. Rather than trying to make it as a promotional type thing, treat it more as a news event. Like, we want to take a minute and thank these organizations for actually participating, rather than, hey, these groups are participating, come join us.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, good points. And Benny, are you clear on that as well? Do you agree?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
Okay, great. So then it'll probably be easier to work that into the post. But we should, as Salam's pointed out, act after the event's done so we can see who actually contributed and then know what they contributed. So I think that's good.
Okay. Wonderful. Let's see. Ghana medical data. How is the entry coming for that? For the medical data projects?
So they are left with two, and I think that one should be done by our next meeting on Sunday.
Okay.
Yes. So I think some of them
The
are
yeah, one of the projects. Okay, Ben, continue.
yes, the project 36 from the drop menu. I think it's missing from the list.
Yeah, and the
We
I
were
don't know if you saw that correspondence in Discord or
I'm
if you can get to it
I
right now, Ben.
on this code. I didn't get.
Yes. Oh, stop.
Okay, okay, yes.
So in Discord is what I did, just so I'll just brief on what was going on there. So the president and I were talking, and the reason 36 doesn't exist is because it's not a project. That's not a real
Oh,
pro.
okay.
It's not a real project number.
it was.
It was something happened, but it was not called 36. And so
Okay.
is what we've done. That's why it doesn't show in the drop down. And so is what we've done is what I did this morning. Is I generated a report that shows the event or the project information, the specific project name as it is in Smiley. So that's the only way we should refer to these projects. And so these
Oh,
projects now have, if they have the word pre in the ID, then that means they were done prior to Smiley. But we might have medical data for those as well that needs to be entered. And so is what I did was I made a report of all of the medical events that took place in Ghana forever. And I put them there. And now is what and is what I did was the president and I were trying to figure out how we were going to determine exactly which event this was. So I added two links to the PDF file that you can click on. So if you click on the proof of effort, you'll see the exact image that we're using to prove that we did the event with the geo coordinates. And if you click on the other link that says what three words, it will take you to the location of the event.
okay, okay,
So now is what we should be able to do is tie all of the data that we have on file to each of those events, and then they will get entered into Smiley, where we should see those events populated correctly.
okay.
Does that make sense? What I did in that report for the Presidio and yourself, Benny and Salam? I know Salam, you might not have seen it yet, but it is a report, like I said, that shows the project number that is in Smiley. That's all only way that we should refer to them, and then the actual location of it and the image, so that you guys can then on your side gather the medical data for each of those projects, and then we can get them entered.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I did, and I was just cross checking. So I noticed that the one we've entered 0029 that was in the drop list. I think it has a different number. Maybe when after this call I'll cross check properly and
Okay.
give you the right number. Then we can. I don't know if that is still changeable. You can still make
Yeah.
those changes.
Yeah, I
I
can.
think
So
we have a pre 29 and then just a regular 29.
right.
So there's
Yeah. So
There's
I
definitely
will
some
have to cross check.
confusion there. Okay, yeah. So is what we should do is continue to dialogue in the Discord so everybody can follow along. And Salam, if there is a excuse me, if there is a renumbering that needs to take place, it's better to do that sooner than later, because I can excuse me,
Okay.
I can more easily change an old project number to a new project number, just so long as I have a unique identifier for the project. So that's easier if we have less project data entered. So just let me know if there are corrections, like just do, 29 should be pre-29, whatever. Use the actual numbers that are in that report I generated, and then you guys, the three of you, can go ahead and figure out what data still needs to be entered, and do that cross-checking as you referred to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, perfect. I went through and I went on the blog page, and by the, I identified or pulled out all of the medical events that we had done. And so on the blog, there's eight projects on the blog that I had gotten the project number from, and how many had attended, how many were gifted. So that was just a reference too that I was trying to figure out, like,
Yeah,
where their numbers were and stuff.
yeah, and I think there should be, Benny, maybe you can take this as an action item, is to, once the records, I don't have it in front of me, but let's just take 29, the pre-29 one. Let's say that, Benny, if we enter 1,550 records for that event, maybe you could take the action item to go back and tweak the blog post to accurately represent the number of medical clinic visits that we recorded.
Okay,
I,
okay.
I don't think it will be a big difference, but if we're doing reconciliation and keeping our data as accurate as possible, if we've got medical clinic visits, so for example, if you look at the report for, yeah, I have it here. Hold on.
What do you want?
Wait, let me get it this way.
Okay.
If you have the medical entries for number 29 and the actual number is 2058, if you could go to the blog posts when that number is finalized and just make it 2058, that'll help keep us in sync a bit and clean our data up a little bit more.
As far as how many gifted?
Yeah, as far as how many were gifted, right. Does that sound okay to you, Benny?
Yes, sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
great. And I think that,
yeah.
you can wait until all of those are done and all the data is entered and everything is good. I think we should just have a step there that we go back and reconcile the blog posts,
Okay, yeah.
because it'll make them easier to pick out then in the future as well if we're looking at counts or whatever.
Yes.
And so
Okay.
I think if you guys can dialogue in that WhatsApp group, now that the report is there, not just about if there is a mix up that we need to correct, 29 is really pre 29 or whatever the case is that Salam's going to identify. But if you can also comment on what events you actually have records for that you plan on entering, that would be helpful. Whether that's you, Benny, or Salam, when you're doing that step of reconciliation, you confirm the paper records and let us know where there's data to be entered so that we can get
Oh,
all that entered.
okay, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So for example, I'll just give a quick example. If you can go to the PF. So if, for example, uh, pre-project number 30 has paper records to enter, then just state that in the Discord. And then that way the Presidio, myself, and you guys can all track what projects still need data entered for and which we don't expect any data for. Hopefully we can get all the data entered for all the projects, but I know that might be a lofty goal based on our ability to track things in the past. So clearly going forward, we'll want to make sure that we get all the data entered properly. But if we can go back, we should do it now while it's still a viable thing, and it will again help us promote our mission when we get to grant writing and those kinds of things. So, does that sound good to you guys?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great.
great,
Good
great,
plan.
great.
All right, let me get back to the agenda. All right. For Elaina has some action items. She has to follow up and send out a couple of announcements, and so we need the announcement for the December conference, and then as well as the operational mandate and policy statement that we need all the board members to sign. So I will follow up with Elaina for those.
Great.
Another action item for Kevin and I was reviewing the April 26th Ghana trip agenda and the budget. And we have reviewed that, and the itinerary looks awesome. Budget looks good. Feedback that we've gotten, people are super excited. And
yeah, I think it's kind of like what Salam said with the event, right? Everyone is excited, and people are talking of going, and we're promoting it where we are now. But in the end, it'll be who really decides to go. We're not sure what that number is going to be. We're still trying to get people on board. One thing that we need to do as part of this, and I'll ask this to be on the Presidue's action items, is to set a firm date that all individuals who are planning on actually going and are like ready to proceed with the vaccinations, the visa, etc. There's going to need to be a line put down that states when that is going to actually happen. And so I'll encourage you guys to come up with when that's going to happen and discuss that in the Discord or in the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
So that we have a firm date, and then that'll also require the firming dates for the travel.
Okay.
So whatever the date that's going to be, we need to have a firm date in the sand that says, if you're going to move to the next level, this is when you need to know by.
Mm-hmm.
And
because of the Ghana visa and
yeah,
and the immunizations and stuff may take a bit.
May take a bit, yeah.
To find, because I don't know if Elaina. Last time she had to go to Portland, but I think she should be good on vaccinations and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. So
Luke
we'll need to do
in
that.
Seattle and so forth. So Luke, that may be kind of an action item for you, is to kind of chat with Hailey. I know it's a ways out, but if you could kind of pick or think of the 10 days that you guys are actually going to travel, then that will allow us to be able to tell everyone, okay, like these are the dates that will be in Ghana. Right?
Yeah. I think that we got to sure up those dates, and if you and Hailey want us to travel with you to Ghana on those international flights, just let us know where you're planning on going before, and maybe afterwards may not be an option for the President and I to travel back with you, simply because we may stay a little bit longer in Ghana if there is some business that needs to be taken care of. Seeing how it's quite an expensive trip with regards to airfare. So that'll be an action item for Luke to get those dates to the President, making sure that we know exactly when that travel is going to take place. And then Salam, the other thing that we'll ask you this should go along with the line in the sand about the dates for the who's serious about going and not. Salam, we should ask that some type of a deposit be sent to you if you're willing to do that. I don't know how to do that. I don't want them to send a whole bunch of money to you and then turns out they don't go, and now we need to do refunds and all this crazy stuff, or if we should just ask them to each put $500 in.
I believe last time when we went with Elaina, you did kind of have a deadline, Salam, like we gave you some money up ahead and then right before we traveled or something like that, I think.
Yeah, so maybe you can talk for a minute, Salam, about how that will look as far as deposits go, and people can do that going forward for the trip. How much of that do you want to take at this first deadline to really evaluate who's interested in going and who isn't? I assume the deadline will probably be about 2 to 3 weeks out. Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I think the last time you were here, a deposit was made a month to your coming.
Okay.
But this time around, since this travel is on give business, I was thinking that since we are going to have an account here, maybe each person can make, let's say, 30% deposit of their travel fee into the Give Basic Needs account, which you can just authorize, and I would pick up the money from the bank to do whatever logistical arrangements we need to put in place before the actual date. So maybe we can arrange some hotel accommodations in advance.
Uh-huh.
We can arrange a vehicle in advance, having in mind the number of people that have made those commitments.
Yeah, it's a really good point, and I think that we have one decision that we have to make, and that's so there will be obviously Give Basic Needs expenses on the travel through each of the three giving events, board member travel expenses, on and on. They're going to be expenses coming from Give Basic Needs, but is what we need to figure, and those aren't a problem. We can get those to the bank, or we can send you USDC, whichever way works. The cheapest as far as transferring the money. It still may be cheaper for me to send USDC than it is for me to do a bank wire internationally and for you to get the money. I don't know how that's going to work. But the thing that concerns me are not the Give Basic Needs expenses, are the individual's expenses. So let's take an individual who wants to go with his family, and I've told him the way that we did it in the past was we sent you USDC directly.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like for individuals, are we going to have them? I don't really want. They're not traveling. I don't know if they're traveling on. They're not really traveling on Give Basic Needs donations. They're just joining a travel group that's going, and Give Basic Needs will be there. So I don't know if they should send you directly USDC, or if we should ask them to do the wire transfer. I don't want to. I don't is what I don't is what I can't do from a compliance standpoint is I can't commingle the funds. What comes from Give Basic Needs has to come from Give Basic Needs, and what comes from individuals has to go to individuals. So in doing so, I don't know if Salam, you would rather. So let's take the 30% that's required from Give Basic Needs. That'll either be one transferred into the new Ghana bank account, or it will be sent to you directly, Salam, as USDC. Now, if we have another individual whose name, let's just say, is Armando, if he's going to send you money, the question for you as our concierge on the ground leading this is, how do you want that money sent? Do you want him to wire directly to your Ghana bank account? Because the transaction is between you and him. Or do you want him to send USDC to you and have that transaction that way? You can kind of think of yourself as an independent operator as well as a contractor for Give Basic Needs on this trip. You're deciding essentially to take additional people along with Give Basic Need board members.
Yeah, I think USDC payments will be easy,
Uh-huh.
because with the bank wire it might take some time for confirmation and all of that,
Yeah.
and maybe the fees, like you said, might be higher.
Uh-huh.
I think bank wire fees are usually higher than USDC.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. So is what we're going to do in the group is say, when the individuals get serious, and the president can take this as the action item, is there'll be a firm date, let's say in 3 weeks. And in 3 weeks, you should have a way to send USDC and send approximately 30% of your travel expenses to that USDC account. And that USDC account will be owned personally by by Salam. And it will not be a Give Basic Needs donation. It will not be anything like that. It will be a transaction between two individuals. And those individuals who are serious about going should be ready to commit in that time frame by sending that 30%. Does that sound like the right way to proceed, Salam?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And then is what you can
I
do
think
is,
that will keep
sorry.
that will keep them committed,
Uh-huh.
and that will also facilitate our preparations on ground.
Yeah. And most importantly, from my standpoint as a compliance person, it's going to keep the funds separate. So there'll be no question about who Give Basic Needs money went to. It will be clear that it was for board members, etc. Everyone else should be ready to send USDC directly to Salam, who's going to be the concierge and the main contact on the ground.
Yeah.
That sounds good. And then if there were a refund that had to be done or something like that, that would then come from you, Salam, in the form of USDC.
Yes.
Okay. And President, do you have any thoughts or comments on that? Or
No, I think it's a good way to work it.
yeah,
For sure.
we really need to be mindful of keeping those dollars separate
Yeah.
from what is Give Basic Needs funding and what are individuals funding, because this isn't a donation type thing.
It's not a happy travel.
It's not a happy travel event. This is just a travel event that we're trying to bring donors and would-be donors to see the work that we're doing in Ghana, period, as Give Basic Needs. Benny, do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I think what has been discussed is in order.
Okay.
Having them pay a portion for the commitments before coming here, I think it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And Benny, you help me watch on that, just like Daniel and Luke, to make sure that we don't commingle those funds and keep that compliance nice and tidy.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. And Daniel, do you have any thoughts or comments on how that's going to go down?
No.
Sounds good to you?
Yeah.
Okay. And Luke, how about you? Anything? Concerns?
So we would only be sending Salam money for the ground things, right? Not the
Yeah.
airfare or anything like that, just the
Yeah.
concierge services.
Exactly. Basically, the whole trip. I'm sorry, I don't remember the number.
Like 22 or 25.
Yeah, let's just round it to 25. Say it's $2,500. You've gotten the budget, I think, so you all have access to exactly what it is. I don't know what it is, but let's just say it's. Do you have it up?
I'm trying.
Okay, Presidente's going to get it up. Maybe Luke, you know the number, do you?
2230.
2230.
25. Okay.
2230. So we would take 2230, multiply it by 0.3, and we would expect 669, let's just call it $670 to be sent for every adult who plans on attending the event in April. This would, and this is critical as well, is that this is your commitment to the 10 days on the ground in Ghana. This is from pickup at the airport, all transportation, all food, all shelter, 10 days. Correct me if I'm wrong, Salam, please. And then this does not include any airfare other than what's included on the budget between transportation between Accra and Tamale. That's the only thing that's included with regards to airfare. You are 100% responsible, and this deposit does not affect any air travel to get you to Accra. Correct, Salam?
Correct. Yes.
Good. So that needs to be crystal clear in everything that we talk about so that people know exactly where that stands. So, Luke, now that you know that and we've got that clear, do you have questions or comments?
No, I think I'm all good now.
You think it makes sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Great.
All right.
Great. So then, continuing on.
Continuing on. I have another action item I've been working on with the help of Daniel is to find a place for the December board conference. And so I'm still working on that. And hopefully
We're
by
gonna
the
need.
end,
I think we need some more options, right?
yes.
From Daniel.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need some more options. So continue your search, please, Daniel, and provide those to the president.
Got that, Daniel?
Okay.
Great.
Awesome.
Thanks.
All right. Let's see. Now we have the hard questions that we're going to discuss in the agenda.
In the agenda.
Hard question number 1, with the bank account approval still pending, what is our contingency plan if it's delayed past this month? How does this potentially shift our 2026 grant writing timeline, and what can we do now to prepare?
Yeah, so this is a good question, but I think it's mostly in prep. I think it's a good question. I think we're going to get the bank account open. It's not a question of if it will, but when. And then I think the major part of the question is how ready are we January 10th to start to go down this grant writing process?
That's good.
And how do you feel about that, Salam, as you'll be leading that from Ghana?
Yeah, I think let's say this week we are going to have the bank account fully set up. I think the only thing that may cause a delay is just the corresponding of information that the bank will require from the signatories.
Okay.
On the issue of the grants, I think that I would suggest, I think I was having that discussion with Ben yesterday, that immediately the account is set up, we should recruit the grant coordinator position, which we intended recruiting but stopped because we needed to set up these legal processes as soon as possible. So maybe if that is set up now, we should give ourselves a target that by December we should have such a person readily available, and that person should be someone that can work closely with Ben and Salifu, who has agreed to write grants for us at a fee or at a percentage. I think I mentioned earlier, I don't know if I did, but he only said that for him to, so for instance, if we identify a grant that he's writing for, he will charge us an amount.
I'm sorry, Salam, really quick. When you say if we identify a grant that he's going to write for, who is going to identify that in particular?
Yeah, so I think that will be the main responsibility of the grant coordinator.
Okay. So this is the new position
Who
that would be in the
would
office.
wake up every day and just, yeah, I think the grant coordinator on a daily basis should be surfing the internet around, checking other well-known organizations that offer grants and just finding us grant opportunities.
Okay. So we're going
Yes,
to call this position the grant coordinator, correct?
correct. Yes, I think
Okay.
you did some you did some description on it on the role. Maybe I can check and reshare that with you
Okay, great.
to refresh your
Great.
memory.
I just want to make
Some
sure
time
that
ago.
I
Yeah.
know who's doing what. So the grant coordinator finds the role, finds the grant through searching on the internet, talking to other nonprofits, et cetera, whatever needs to be done on the ground, and then gives it to Salifu, who writes the grant and takes the percent.
Correct. Yes.
And so one more thing before we move on is that grant coordinator position has not been funded as for this year for sure. So that position will not be able to be hired this year
Yes, but
because of where we are.
we can hire the position this year, but so it's just like hiring someone and indicating a future date for commencement of work as an employee, as an independent contractor. So we can actually hire the person even this month and say that you resume work maybe in January
Uh-huh.
or in February, depending
Okay.
on when we want to start. Yeah.
Okay, great. So we're expecting to have the grant coordinator. We're expecting to select that person, get them under contract, and then the first payment, their first wage payment as a contractor wouldn't take place until after, say, January 10. Sorry, you might be muted, Salam.
Can you please come again?
Yeah, it's okay. So I said that the grant coordinator you're planning on lining up before the end of the year, and then their first pay date would be after January 10th.
Yes,
Okay,
January end.
okay, great. And then so then what happens once? How long do you expect that individual uh, to need to search for grants before they're able to give something to Sally Food to actually write on?
Oh, I think I equally I think I identified some grant opportunities that I shared on Discord some time ago. So I don't think it maybe in a week or less.
Oh,
Um, these are things that we at our own leisure can even help search. And
uh-huh.
if I would also entreat that anyone who come across something that we can benefit from can as well share.
Yeah. Do you expect Sally Fu? I expect Sally Fu at least during the process that he's writing to be in Discord. Do you think that we should have a grant channel to discuss these things in particular? So when things are found by yourself or the grant coordinator or Salifu or whoever, whatever he's working on, we have one place to communicate about grant opportunities and what's being done in the grant space? Or do you want to just see that in the Tamale office?
Yes, I think I told Salifu that we will have a conference call to discuss these things. So he can join in some of our meetings
Okay.
for that. Yeah.
But I'm saying within Discord and where the communication takes place, do you want to just see it in the Tamale office, or do you want to break,
Yes, Tamale.
or do you
I
want
think
to
Tamale
break that
office is okay.
outside of the Ghana into a grant effort?
I think Tamale. Okay. Tamale office is okay.
Okay. Okay, great. So the grant efforts will take place in the office locations, is what we're saying. Correct. Okay, good. So that will just take place there. And then, so you think within a matter of, let's just say, 3 weeks to get a grant identified, deciding whether the board wants to proceed with it, may give that a month. So you're thinking maybe we could have Sally Fu actually writing grant opportunities in the month of February and then procuring those over the next 4 months. Does that sound like a rough timeline?
Salam, did you hear that question? Maybe we lost him.
Oh, sorry, I didn't. Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
I was muted. I didn't know. I was just busy talking.
Oh,
Okay, okay.
Yes, I was saying that this usually when these grants organizations open grants,
Uh-huh.
sometimes they may leave it open for like 6 months
Okay.
or 3 months. Sometimes it could be 60 days, and until the application period lapses, they will not start the sorting processes.
Mhm.
So yeah, we may apply for a grant, but if the organization offering the grant says that the grant is open for maybe 6 months, then you will have to wait till after the 6 months
Uh-huh.
before you get feedback from them,
Okay.
um, to maybe defend your application and go through their KYC whatever before you get approved.
Okay.
So and there are some that might just be open for 30 days,
Uh-huh.
some that might be open for 60 days. So it depends on the grants we are able to apply for as early as possible.
Uh-huh.
If we're able to go for maybe a grant that is just open for 30 days, then we can expect that maybe in 3 or 4 months, if we qualify, um, which I believe very well in Salifu's efforts. I was telling him about our activities and how we've streamlined our operations.
Mhm.
And he said usually his role as a grant writer comes with an extra responsibility. So, for instance, if he's applying for a particular grant and the grant demands some uh, feedback or some evidence that your organization qualified but you don't have it, it is his responsibility to provide that information.
Mhm.
Sometimes it could be certain financials, and so if it has to do with maybe a particular financial model, a particular you have to show a particular capacity. So the one thing that came up was logistics, for instance. There are
Mhm.
certain grants, I think mostly um, UN grants,
Mhm.
they come with logistical conditions that maybe if the grant is for remote areas, then you must have some vehicles, you must have some equipments and etc. What he does is to make sure he's able to provide these evidences.
Uh-huh.
And maybe your organization must be at a particular financial level. If you are not, he's able to provide that.
I see.
So yes, so for that he said he has a particular percentage because of the work he does, and he wouldn't take anything from us until the grant goes through. So if he's writing a grant for maybe $80,000 or $100,000, then he will have to agree with us that okay, he's not going to take anything, but he would put all his best, defend the application, provide whatever information he needs to provide. If he needs to do presentations, he will do. And when the grant goes through, you give him a percentage of maybe 5%, 3%, or whatever percent that we negotiate with him with.
Okay.
However, he would always take, um, I think he mentioned between $500 to $1,000 because to put in the application because he need data and etc. So I wanted to discuss with him about providing him data, something like Starlink,
Mhm.
but I didn't bring that up because I knew we were not up for the conversation yet. So maybe these are some of the things that we can discuss with him when uh, the account is ready and we are ready to move in that tangent.
Okay, so I'm trying to understand what it is he needs. He needs I would think he would need access to Notebook LM, which is essentially the brains of our entire organization. But when you say Starlink, this is like general internet access type thing. So Why would Starlink be on the list? Is that to get to things like LM Notebook LM, or is that for general research, or what is that?
Yeah, so he said he usually would charge us either $500 or $1,000 to work on the application.
Okay.
That is, so I asked him what that money was for because he said he get paid when the
Yeah.
grant goes through,
Mm-hmm.
and he said that money was for data
Aha.
for research and for whatever. So
Aha.
that was when the thought of maybe Starlink came to mind.
Yes. Yes, this is an
Yeah.
excellent point. And Salam is what you can do um, is so where do you think Salifu will be working? Will he be in the Tamale office?
No, he's
Okay.
in Accra.
He's in Accra. Okay. So one thing
Yes,
you
he
can
runs a consultancy firm in Accra.
okay. Okay, because is what you could do um, is maybe make him a deal that says we will give him internet service through Starlink as long as we work for him, and he can use it for whatever purposes he wants, and we will pay the fee for the service, but we're not going to pay him up front for any grant work, and 3% is likely after he secures the grant.
Yes, that I think that is well, and I mean that was even a proposal from him to us that
Uh-huh.
he would only take payments for any grant after the grant has gone through. So if he goes through the process, apply, defend, do whatever, and at the end of the day, we are not giving the grant. He doesn't get anything from
Right.
us.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think we can safely say that we have some extra network capacity with this extra Starlink mini dish. I think it's probably fine to write up a simple agreement, Salam, with Salifu that says, while we're working with him, that we will not be paying for any of his pre-grant work, but we will be providing, and I can write this up too. I could write the draft up and then give it to you, Salam, and then you can modify and pass it along. But I can write a simple proposal that says we will give him Starlink for whatever he wants. He can use it for in his office and unlimited data, and he will do the pre-grant work for us on for that data service fee, and then take 3% uh, of the fees that he gets. I could run a simple thing saying that if you think that's something that he would be interested in.
Yeah. So I think we should maybe when the account is set up, we can have a call. Maybe we can have him join a meeting like this,
Uh huh.
and we can have that discussion before we write up an agreement or something.
Okay. Yes.
So
Perfect.
that so that the agreement will include whatever terms we agree on
Yeah.
regarding the whole grant process,
Yeah.
not just
Exactly.
limited to Starlink or just data
Yeah.
provision.
I think this is a great idea, and I think that we should clear the plate of the agenda and just discuss the grant process and have an agenda around the grant the grant process going forward, probably in a couple of weeks, and then that way we could write up some type of an agreement and get him the Starlink service instead of cutting it off from you using it, Salam. We'll just leave it open and then plan on giving it to him. So we should probably clear in the coming weeks a time slot, this time slot, 1 hour, to discuss the grant process and the funding work that's going to be done with Salifu, and then make sure that we absolutely need all the board members present and accounted for so that we can be knowledgeable on this, because going forward, This is a risk that our organization is taking on, and the board members need to know about it, and they need to vote on these individual grants to make sure that we can execute and deliver on them. So their input will be valuable from an organizational perspective. Obviously, the finances from my side, Presidue's side from that, the final approval from her. Obviously, we want input from Benny on these things, making sure that he thinks that things are viable and, most importantly, that are in our best interest. So what I need everyone on the call to do is to advocate for our best interest, and that is to execute and create as much happy as we can through this grant writing process. So,
And so you're willing to have the meeting with Sally Fu and everybody on Sunday
yeah,
versus okay.
versus a separate meeting, because we need all board members present and up to speed on how this is going to go down. So should they have concerns, they can voice them.
Do you foresee Salam, him attending a Sunday meeting? Do you foresee any barriers to that?
No, I will have to talk to him and
Yeah,
get his availability. Maybe beyond this coming Sunday, any other Sunday that works for him, or
yeah,
even Friday, that any other day that works for both of us. Let me just put it that way,
yeah,
because yeah, he's sometimes a very busy guy. These are some of the works he does, and the top corporations in Ghana really uses him a lot. So
okay,
his weekends are equally packed.
yeah,
And one thing I am also, the reason why I also brought up that maybe we should look at the role of the grant coordinator is that when he's working, he wants timely feedback. So if we have an employee who is just for that, then they can coordinate as quick as possible.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
I think
I'll
is,
talk to him and get
go ahead.
his availability.
Yeah, so one thing on that, Salam. So the Friday will not work for us because our board members,
Okay.
Daniel, Elaina, and Luke, myself and Abbie will obviously be there as board members, but the rest of the board members can only attend on Sundays at this time.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
So,
so
so
I will make that clear to him.
yeah, so just go out however far you need to. We'll put it on, and then it's going to be critical with the grant coordinator hiring process that the president and myself are involved. So we'll need to have a series of interviews and meetings. Maybe in our Friday meeting, we can talk more about this next week. But we'll need to have a board, or we'll need to have those meetings with that grant coordinator because we'll be working very close with them in answering those questions for Sally Fu. I'm not even sure that I'm comfortable putting someone in that role who doesn't know the organization right now as well as we do. Um, so I'm not sure where that's going to land or how that's going to land. That might be a responsibility that I take working with Sally Fu. I don't know. Um, we'll have to figure it out, but we can definitely, yeah, we can, in the weeks to come, we should definitely have that discussion because that grant coordinator position is going to be a very critical organizational position. It's not a, just find someone to enter some data. Is a very important strategic position for us.
So action item for that is for Kevin to draft for Sally Fu that agreement about using the or no advancement in pay, right?
Yeah, that's going to actually happen after we meet with Sally Fu, though.
Okay.
So I'll take that after. But one of the things that we'll need to do is we're going to need to start soliciting employees for, unless Salam or Benny, you already have a person in mind, we're going to need to get some lineup of 3 to 5 people that are you both feel are good candidates to talk with the president and I to confirm that in fact this grant coordinator position individual is the one that we want. Does that make sense to both Salam and Benny?
Yeah, yeah. I think you made a very good point that we get somebody that is very familiar with give basic needs
Yeah, yeah,
because it's actually a very critical position.
Very
Yeah.
critical. Yeah,
So
very critical because there's not just the grant writing, but there's the follow up and the reporting and all of those things that have to go along with it. I don't know, Benny, uh, how you feel about that, or if you have thoughts on who that individual might be. I don't know if that's something that you know somebody who might be viable already as a candidate for that, or Salam, you already do. Do you have a short list of individuals, or are we just throwing out a post and going to try to capture some people that are good? How do you guys? How do you see that, Benny?
Yeah. So I also agree on the fact that it's a very sensitive position, one that would require someone who has an in-depth knowledge and can easily provide information regarding the organization. So I agree with that. But with a candidate in mind at the moment, I would have to look around. Though we have people following our activities, but we don't know how in depth their knowledge could be.
Yeah,
So we could look around to see if we are settling on getting someone externally.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I think.
Okay, is your brother's name is I can't not
Simone?
Simone? Yeah, is he a candidate potentially for something like that?
Yeah, so he has actually been following our activities for quite a while, and
Yeah.
so yes, so I'm sure he could be a candidate. I'll talk to him about that too.
Okay.
He even added that he said he wanted to come to Tamale for the event on 22nd
Okay.
of November. So yeah, I've seen his interest in our activities. But then I'll discuss with him something that is coming up, not to um raise his expectation, but just to start a discussion and see how he will respond to that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
and
I
I
can
think
give a feedback later.
I think too, it's a couple weeks out or so, so feel free to take your time and
yeah.
so forth. We won't be hiring the position until next year, so there's some time to kind of feel out people and stuff interested.
Right, and so and obviously work with Salam on that to make sure that if Salam, do you have you're gonna be actively looking for people as well, I'm assuming, and I'm gonna work on the job description and the pay, and so I think that'll obviously be a critical. Do we see this as a full-time position or a part-time position?
okay. So I think that what would inform who we look for will be the job description.
Uh-huh.
And also, when we talk to Salifu, we need to understand what he will be looking for,
Uh-huh.
the kind of expertise he would need from our organization to work with. So, for instance, if he has to do more with numbers, more with uh, data, then we'll be looking for the CFO type of person.
Hmm.
And yeah, so sometimes what I know about grant writing is that sometimes they are very technical,
Hmm.
and we need somebody who also have some knowledge in that area.
Hmm.
So yeah, we can, as part of the recruitment process, if I think we should look for a full-time role, and we should also take into consideration maybe when the president and the CFO is interviewing these people, we can have, if we settle on going on with Salifu, we can have Salifu on board, also asking him or her some questions to see what, I mean, the level at which the person can collaborate,
Yes,
because
I agree.
we yeah, this is a very serious role.
Yes.
And personally, I think the person should have some accounting background
Hmm.
or some finance background,
Uh-huh.
because grant writing is going to come with a lot of budgeting, a lot of. financial modeling and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want someone occupying the role who literally don't understand these figures when they are put before the person.
Right.
I
Yeah,
think too.
because instances where you don't have the grant writer available, the grant coordinator should be in a position to respond, because there are going to be email conversations anyway
Mm-hmm.
between whichever organization we are writing to and our organization.
Yeah.
And the grant writers should be in position to collaborate very well with the Presido in providing accurate responses to such organizations.
Yeah.
Because these are highly competitive opportunities. You don't need to. You must put your best foot forward. Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think too,
Okay.
having that individual interviewed, if you will, by Salafu, then he knows the character of a person that needs to fill that role and needs to work with them, and then they need to also work, professionally with each other, and just in a good groove, just similar to how you and Ben do. So that would be, yes, definitely something else to consider too.
Yeah, and I think that yeah, we're over. I apologize. I just want to state that I'm feeling probably that the initial grant that we write is probably I'll probably be the grant coordinator in that position, and we'll continue to look for the right person with Salifu over a period of time. I just feel it's a critical piece, has a lot to do with our mission, has a lot to do with our finances. I'm probably the best candidate at this point to take that role. So I might be working with him, but we have more to discuss, and we have a lot of, we want to bring people forward in the organization. And so uh, keep your eyes and ears open, brothers, sisters, family members that are trustworthy, that also have backgrounds in finance or the like. Keep them all open as opportunities. And finance background can be learned, with the right person. So we shouldn't exclude based on education. We should include based on character. And so the character of the person. And so with that, I'll go ahead and let it go. But I know that we'll have a lot more discussions in the coming weeks about grants as we move towards that goal in 2026.
Wonderful. Well said.
Thank
About
you.
education and character. That's great.
Yeah.
All right, wrapping up, just one other thing that we had on the agenda was a question that if there's some reason that the test kits we don't receive the additional test kits from the Ghana AIDS Commission, do we have a backup source, or are we pretty positive in that we're going to get those test kits from them?
No,
Okay.
no. But
So
however, I think that so far with the 500 we have so far, if in the event that we do not receive any extra test kits, we should be able to make do with that. It's either we run shortage, or we just finish it in time, or probably we might not be able to use it all. So
so
yeah,
I
I think it's a good question, but we shouldn't lose sleep over not meeting the 1,000 figure,
I think
which I think we would anyway.
okay. Is what I'd like to add to that, and it has to do with the data, is that it's really important that we have the same number of test kits available. And the reason that I think that is, and somebody else should back me up or correct me if I'm wrong, but we want to make sure that if we have 1,000 people that have had the typhoid vaccine, we have 1,000 people who got the HIV testing. And the reason that is because when the data is entered, if we only had 500 test kits, and we're saying that let's just say we had 1,500 people show up to be tested, and we're calculating that 10% of those had malaria. That's assuming we had a test kit for every one of those 1,500 people. if for some reason we don't have enough test kits, the numbers will be skewed and the percentages won't make sense. So I think this is a really important question. And I think, Salam, that you should always have the same number of test kits available. And when we run out of one, we run out of them all. Because if we continue to test HIV when we don't have typhoid, that'll make the typhoid percentage invalid. Because we might test 1,500, but we only tested 500 for typhoid. So now when we look at the typhoid percentage of positives, we will see only a percent positive of the 500, not of the 1,500. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand that. Yeah.
So I think that if we don't have test kits, we should evaluate in this meeting or in the Friday meeting to figure out what we're going to do.
Good food for thought this week.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay,
Right.
and do you agree with that as well,
Okay,
Baines?
so
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Salam.
so I think that based on what you just said, maybe by Friday close of work, usually our meetings are 5 o'clock. That's usually exactly the time we close. So we should be able to. I should be able to give an actual figure on HIV,
Uh-huh.
and maybe we can take a decision on how to get whatever if we need to get some more test kits
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
balance it up.
that's a great point. So I'll even take it one step further, Salam. So if on Friday's meeting, you could take the action item to provide all the test kits that you have for each of the things that we test for: hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis whatever. I don't even know what we test for. So is it C? I get those mixed up. B and C? Yeah,
Yes,
B
B.
Yes, B and
B
C.
and C. Yeah, okay. So B and C. So if you have the test kit counts for hepatitis B, hepatitis C, you have the test kits for typhoid, you have the test kits for malaria and HIV, those 5 things, if you could have all of those counts on Friday, then we can decide how to proceed to keep the data accurate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay?
this is just an extraneous information. I just wanted to share when I had typhoid and I went to a pharmacy to run a test.
Mhm.
Then I realized that Give Business was actually giving a lot of money to Ghanaians for free.
Yeah.
I tested for typhoid for 70 Ghana cedis. That is about $7.
Wow.
And I was surprised that um, the pharmaceutical industry in Ghana is actually making a lot of money. Maybe they are, I don't know where they get their test kits from, but it's so amazing.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking of it that if we were to be doing this for money, maybe we could be making some extra $5 or $6 every month.
Yeah, right. And that's crazy, right? To see how much the test kits actually cost. That's why it's really important to get those donations and those sales invoices in there so we can combine, what our in-kind donations are, because that's a big part of what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's good observation.
And I be expensive in other places beyond Tamale. For instance, maybe where Ben lives now, I think it will be more expensive
I bet.
than
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so I think we can wrap and ask for comments.
Yes. Do you have anything else?
I don't have anything else. No.
Ben, how about you?
No, have anything else?
All right. Salam,
No.
Daniel,
No.
Luke.
Nope.
All right, great. Thanks everybody for attending another great meeting. Reach out with any questions and we'll see you all next week.
Thank you,
Bye
everyone.
bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.